will say, if you start off early, if you prevent, my two things, there are like two things that I say you cannot go wrong with: Botox skincare products, medical grade skincare products. The price is too low, it's probably not right. If it's on Groupon, probably not right for an injectable.
Hello. Today is a fabulous Tuesday, if I do say so myself. So for many of you who have been with me since Tips from Tori days, the original tipsters, you know this well. I am a big consumer of this very taboo topic, the big world of Botox. And I'm talking Botox, fillers, lasers, skincare, aesthetics, non-invasive treatments. I'm a big fan. And today I am super excited because I wanted to hit this head on with someone who's in the industry and we could go all over on this conversation. I am thrilled to bring one of my dearest friends and now provider, Ariel Auston. Ari is a cardiac nurse turned nurse injector, and we're really going into the big world of aesthetics today, you guys. We are going behind the needle today. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with me, my name is Tori Meskin, and I am the founder of the Selfie Podcast Show, a platform dedicated to making healthcare hip, one selfie at a time. So today is all about the skin, baby. We're going to be giving you guys all of the skincare tips and tricks. This is really art meets science and the modern day idea of aging gracefully, using non-invasive procedures, the process of becoming a cosmetic nurse or nurse injector. We're really pulling the curtain back today and diving deep. And I really wanted to get you guys all of the juicy deets. We're going into topics such as how to keep that refreshed look, natural beauty, and enhancing the things that you and or your clients want, collaboration over competition in a competitive industry. And to be honest, you guys, this really isn't always superficial. This topic can go much deeper than the eye meets. Perfect example, Katie Duke actually just released her episode. It's episode number 33 on the bad decisions. And she has always opened up about her experiences with Botox fillers and of course plastic surgery. And she really gets raw and real for her reasons. And it really does go much deeper than you think. I highly recommend that episode. But the idea of we want to embrace our natural bodies, and yes, that includes imperfections. But I'm a big believer, if something bothers you and you want to get it fixed, then do it. And as Katie puts it, being a true woman's woman means supporting a woman in what she wants to do and how she wants to do it. And for me, this does go beyond vanity. This is really about supporting you in what you want to do. And yes, that does include my fabulous men out there who want to consume products as well, because we are an open-minded platform here, people. But as a true woman's woman, I truly support that. And what better person to do that than with my good friend, Ari. Ari is a cosmetic nurse turned nurse injector. She is also in NP school, and we are really diving into the world of aesthetics, and Ari really gives some great tips from both a client perspective and also future provider perspective. And if you guys wait around to the end, we have a really great surprise for all of you. So without further ado, let's dive in. Today is such a treat for me. Today, across from me, I have the beautiful Ariel.
Hi, Tori. I'm finally here. I'm so excited.
Oh. All right. Well, I was really excited to bring Ari on here today. So for those of you who've been with me in my social media platform, you know that something I've been very open and transparent about is my consumption of skincare products. And yes, that does include injectables.
Whoop, whoop. We love injectables. Seriously.
Yes. But I do feel like it's something that's very taboo. I think it's something that up until recently, no one really talked about.
Nope.
It really isn't something that I think it has a very big stigma to it.
Yes.
And so I'm very excited to have you in here in studio today, Ari.
Well, I'm super excited to talk about it. I kind of love how we met. It's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah. We met, is it less than a year ago?
Less than a year ago. We met on Instagram, and I saw Tori leaving, I think, of med spa, and she had just gotten her Botox done, which I love because she posted it.
Yeah.
I love that when people are honest about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, We're both Barco ambassadors. You should obviously come see me.
Yeah.
And
we met, the first time we actually physically met was at the Barco 90th anniversary.
Yeah. So much fun.
Scrub lunch. It was really fun. We just hit it off.
Like immediately. It was like, we had so much to talk about.
Yeah, we did. I feel like our energy together was so phenomenal.
It was like, I don't know. I feel like I knew you obviously way longer than what, like 2 months? A month?
I know.
From Instagram. So
yeah, it was really fun.
It was perfect.
So we've known each other for a little while. Not to mention the fact that actually I'm a client of Ariel's
and
now.
I love it. I love it.
And I was really excited. Selfishly, I wanted to bring her on here because a lot of the people here with me today probably have a few questions about the big world of Botox.
Yes, Botox, fillers, lasers, skincare, products, all of it. Like, I do it all. It's fun.
And so this is going to be just as much fun for me as I hope it is for you guys. So without that, let's begin.
Let's dive.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
What is exactly a cosmetic injector or like a nurse? Like, what do you classify yourself? Where does it start?
So honestly, when I first started, I didn't know. I just knew I wanted to be in aesthetics. I even didn't know there was a difference really between like aesthetics, AESTHETIC, and then like an esthetician, right? So they're different. Like aesthetics is more non-invasive treatments, and then estheticians do, like facials, things like that. I prefer to be called a nurse injector only because injectables are like my jam. They're my love. They're what I enjoy. But I do it all. So pretty much a nurse that does it all. You could really, honestly, you could call them an aesthetic nurse, a cosmetic nurse.
Right.
But if the nurse doesn't do injectables, then they're not, considered an injector.
Right.
So it's really actually a very big realm.
Yeah. So I actually want to go back. Let's go back to baby Ari. Like, okay. I want to talk about how you ended up into this industry. Let's hear a little bit about your background. Like, where do you come from?
Okay. So I'm from Marietta, Georgia. It's actually like north of Atlanta. It's really a big city. If you've been to Atlanta, you've seen Marietta, I guarantee it, on any of the highway signs. But I started off, let me start with this. This is probably actually where I get a lot of it from. I danced for most of my life and cheered. So I've been wearing makeup since I was like 3. Yeah. Like literally baby, right? Which I feel like most little girls have gone through that, right? But it kind of never left me.
Yeah.
Not really made to be a makeup artist, so whatever. Anyways, I kind of always knew medicine is what I wanted to do. I, went to small private school. I, had my same group of friends my whole life. We went to college together. I started off as a pre-med major, decided in the midst of, let me say I actually went away to school. So my parents were not happy about, paying out of school or out of state tuition. They're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because I decided not to be a doctor. So anyways, I was jealous of a lot of the girls that were getting into nursing. And I had done shadowing like doctors, and I was like, this is just not who I am. Like, I feel like I'm a very, like, I like to talk with people. I like to make that connection. It's just a part of me.
Right.
Anyways, fast forward, finished nursing school. I worked at Piedmont Atlanta Hospital for 2 years. I worked doing cardiothoracic surgery, which when I graduated nursing school, I'm like, I'm never going to work with the heart. Right.
Right.
Fast forward, here I am working with the heart. Loved it. Started doing travel nursing. I did tele, I did I did step down, And then kind of, while I was in LA, I went through a rough patch. I lost a best friend, and then kind of was on my own in LA. And I knew this is really the only time I'm going to be able to do aesthetics. It's something I'd always talked about. I just talked about, I want to do Botox. That's all I knew, right? Yeah. I want to do Botox. I knew nothing about Botox. I just knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And, what better time than to be in LA and quote unquote, let's do Botox.
This is like the mecca for all things injection.
So that's kind of how, my transition has been.
Okay, so I'm really curious. How do you feel like you broke into the industry from more of a nurse perspective? Like how did you get your first job? How did you land it? I feel like that's the question that I get most often is how do you land your job?
Yeah. So honestly, I would like to say that it was not hard. I will say it was not hard, but it was a lot of unknowns. All I knew was to go on and find a job how I normally would, right? I'm in LA. I'm brand new. I've been here for, I don't know, 5 months, 6 months. I don't even think, honestly, that long. So I have no connections. I know no one. I literally went on Indeed.com. Like,
Yeah,
that's it.
crazy.
I made a new resume. Here's actually what happened. I was on a contract. I got canceled that day. So I was like, you know what? Perfect day. Today's the day. I'm going to make a whole new resume and I'm going to apply to aesthetic jobs. And that's literally what I did. That whole day, I made a new resume. I looked up all the aesthetic jobs on Indeed.com. A lot of them are going to ask for 2 years experience. Obviously, I didn't have 2 years experience in aesthetic nursing. I applied anyways. I was like, what do I have to lose? Absolutely nothing. On those like job engines, I think a lot of the questions that you ask in the beginning are going to weed you out no matter what. So when it asks, like the drop down, how many years have you done this? And I say 0, it probably weeds me out from that job anyways, right? And honestly, that's probably not the job I needed anyways, because I needed training. I didn't have any experience doing what I was doing. So yeah, Indeed.com is how I did it. I made a brand new resume. Like I said, it was really pretty. It was colorful. This is the industry that actually appreciates those things. I got so many like compliments, like, oh my gosh, your resume is so pretty. And I'm like, thanks.
Quite unlike our sterile ones.
How painful, right?
Yeah, they're so painful.
It was so nice to be able to like be creative.
Yeah.
And like, if I were to do it again, like I probably would make it even more colorful. I just didn't know I could do it. I just thought maybe I could do it, and I went with it and it worked. So if I were going to give anyone like a suggestion, make your resume gorgeous, make it creative, make it who you are, because people don't realize that aesthetics, not only, are you doing treatments, but it's sales. It's,
right.
A lot of,
yeah,
talking with people.
You really have to get
you
to
need to
connect with
sell
the client.
yourself. Exactly.
Yes. So. Yeah, that's awesome. What are some requirements that you need as a nurse injector? Like, what are the qualifications that you need to be to work in the industry?
This one's so hard because I get this one a lot, and it's funny because, you just need to be a nurse, really, right? So I, from my experience, would suggest somebody work bedside at least a year. I only say that because I get a lot of patients that come in, in aesthetics, you will get a lot of older patients because these are the ones that are now trying to reverse time.
Right.
So a lot of these patients are on medications, they've had surgeries. Yeah. You want to know what these things are. If you've not worked bedside, it's a lot harder for you to apply that in the medical field than if you've worked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of value to working bedside, even that 1 year.
Yes. Yeah. And I didn't realize that, obviously as a new grad, I get a lot of new grads who ask me like, can I go straight in? And yeah, you can, but are you going to have that like foundation that you need in order to do a great assessment on a patient, in order to decide whether they're a candidate for a specific treatment? Like, let's say, for instance, you've had a patient who's had Bell's palsy in the past. They're not technically a candidate for a neurotoxin, which is going to relax their muscle, right?
Interesting.
So
what are things that you guys look for, in the health histories? What are you looking for?
Mostly we just look for, have you ever had an injectable in the past? Did you have any reaction to it? What else? Do you have any autoimmune diseases, any neuromuscular diseases? All of those are pretty much going to set you aside. But for the most part, almost everyone is a candidate for it. Have you had a stroke? You're probably not a great candidate.
Right, exactly. Let's talk. I kind of like diving into this question because I think so many nurses are going to have questions about this.
Okay.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty financial part.
Okay.
So,
all right.
There's a lot of, I feel like I hear a lot of things all over the board about how much nurse injectors make. I think it's just, there's anything from people say you take a pay cut to you make better money than you've ever made in any industry. So what is your take on this?
I agree. It's all it's all over the place. Okay, so I'll give you an idea. I work for a private office. I make more money. I don't work on commission. I just work an hourly, and I don't work on sales, nothing like that. So my pay is better than somebody who's obviously going to work on commission, because if you work on commission, you're going to get a low hourly and you'll make the money, it's kind of like a waitress.
Right,
You
exactly.
make your tips. So when I first started, I went to a few interviews and they were offering me $20 an hour.
Wow.
Now, if you live in LA,
that
they wanted me to work full time.
You can't survive on that.
No,
You
absolutely not. So the highest I could get them to bump me up was 28. Now, remind you, I have no experience. So what are they really paying me for? I'm like, come on, I'm working full time for you guys. So 28 is as high as I got. Then thankfully, I got my job that I work for now and they pay me much, much better. But like I said, I don't work on commission. So really, I think it ranges. Also, obviously, the more popular nurse injectors are going to make more. They're going to have more clientele. Everyone knows about them. So really, it comes down to your brand. It comes down to, are you doing your learning? Are you branding yourself? Are you,
It's very interesting.
I think it's so much that comes into how much you can make because it truly is an industry where you have to hustle. You have to build your clientele. I had 0 clients.
Yeah.
It's
so interesting to me because I think this is the one area in the nurse world where self-branding is of the utmost importance.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
And it's hard.
And it
because people have to trust you with their face.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
You know what I mean?
If you're coming at me with a needle, you better know what you're doing.
Yeah. You better know anatomy. You better know the arteries. You better know when you have an occlusion. You better know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Like there are so many things. There's actually this one nurse on Instagram who I follow. I love him. His name is Botox Josh, and he says, so aspirating, as a nurse, we know you pull back on the needle that checks to see if you are in an artery, you'll have a flashback of blood. He says, aspirate because you are not God. And it's totally the truth. Like, you better freaking aspirate. Like, like just so many things like safety that are,
Yeah, it's very, very, and I can say actually as one of your clients, I feel like you, even as a friend, and I am in the medical world, so I understand a lot of the things, and I've been to several providers, but what I liked about when you were injecting me is you still took the time to tell me everything that you were doing.
Yes.
You were giving me the side effect. You went through everything, and I think that's so essential for people to, when you're looking for a provider who's going to be doing these things, or if you're going to someone for the first time.
Exactly.
That's maybe a good question. What are some questions for people who don't have access to someone like you in LA?
Yeah.
Or for people who are around the country, do you have a recommendation to them of something that they need to ask their providers prior to getting injection? Okay, no secret here. I'm obsessed with life hacks, especially when it comes to skincare and wellness products. Especially during this pandemic, when wearing a mask at the bedside for 12 solid hours has my skin a certain way, and we're dealing with all this stress, I am looking for ways to optimize my skin and nutrition, because what goes inside your body truly matters. So let me tell you guys about my latest favorite, Hum. As a starting point, Hum has been featured on Forbes, Vogue, Allure, Well and Good, Mind Body Green, but I really want to tell you why I like Hum. So Hum is a nutrition supplement line, and it offers a combo of potent, clean, and clinically proven ingredients designed for specific goals such as clear skin, improved sleep, hair growth, balanced mood, and overall a healthier body starting from the inside out. So let me tell you about what really sold me on these products. Being in the healthcare field, this was actually really important to me. These products and the recommendations are made from registered dietitians. So let me take you through it. You go on their website and you take a 3-minute quick evaluation. It goes through your diet, your moods, your workout styles, general health, skin concerns, beauty goals, and then it formulates suggested Hum products to help you fill those gaps. Not to mention, a registered dietitian is also available to answer questions for ongoing support, and Hum only uses all natural, clinically proven ingredients that are highly absorbable, non-GMO, and free of common allergens such as gluten, soy, and shellfish. Of course, I had to try the products first, and one of the recommendations that I absolutely love right now is called Collagen Love. So this supports skin elasticity and firmness. It helps minimize appearance of fine lines with collagen peptides, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C packed all in this amazing supplement. Another one that I've been taking is for my skin specifically, because I've been breaking out quite a bit from wearing that mask at the bedside, is the Skin Squad Pre and Probiotic. So this contains 9 ultra-targeted strains of good bacteria to help balance the gut. Hum has been formulated by experts. It is clean and natural, rigorously tested, and provides real results for your mind, body, and mood. And guess what? I have something super awesome for all the Selfie Podcast listeners. Hum is offering you 20% off of your first order of $29 or more with code SELFIE, CELLFIE. Not to mention the fact that I am a freak for efficiency. I need things delivered to my home. So Hum offers a fabulous flexible subscription where they deliver your super cute, chicly packaged supplements right to your doorstep. So if you guys want to give Hum a try, head over to humnutrition.com, fill out their quiz, and use code SELFIE, CELLFIE, at checkout for your 20% off. All right, you guys, let's head back to the show.
I am so blessed to have had a mentor who has been in aesthetics for 15 years now. She has really taught me, like the honesty in aesthetics, which I think is really hard to find. There's a lot of, dishonesty and all.
Right.
More
money, more problems.
Exactly. So one of the bigger things that we do, as Tori said, when I have a patient come in, I show them the product. I will open the product in front of them. When you are a first-time Botox patient, I will show you that the label is holographic. If it's holographic, it's made in the U.S. and that it's FDA approved.
Wow. I had no idea.
I always show my patients that, because if you go somewhere else, you should be able to ask them, can you show me the vial? Can you pull it up in front of me? I'm not saying you need to do that to know.
What's the thought process behind that? Are you do people use other additive fillers in their products to potentially
make it go longer, go farther? Some providers will. So let's say you have a vial of Botox. I know we're getting into numbers and maths and stuff. So a normal vial of Botox is 100 units.
Yeah.
And you dilute it with 2.5 milliliters of saline. Some providers will do 2.0. Some will do 3.0. So they'll play with it. Botox recommends 2.5. So my boss, my mentor, we've always done 2.5. That's what is recommended. That is the amount that you add per the company,
Right.
So some places, and this is based off of other people's opinions. Sometimes they believe it lasts longer if they add more or less. Some want their product to go a little bit longer, but we're just all about honesty. We stand by standards. If we don't stand by the standards, you know what I mean?
Right.
Who's to say what could happen?
Exactly.
Not to say anything bad, but
Right.
you just never know,
Right.
So I would also recommend asking to see your injector's work. Not to say that everyone is on social media and is going to be posting their work. Some companies don't even allow nurse injectors to post their own work. But if you go into the office, you should be able to see before and afters of work that the injector has done. You can also ask, what schooling did you, basic things.
Yeah.
What schooling did you go to? How long have you been an injector? Yeah, your credentials. Feel free to ask that. Feel free to ask to see the product. There's a lot of things you can do that aren't necessary, but if it's your first time, you want to be smart about, what's going into your face.
Right. 100%. I have been to Ariel and I actually used, so I had Nutox.
Yes. Nutox. Juvo.
So this is a new product, but I wanted you to speak on some of the products that you use or on the daily. And I've probably more than likely tried at least one or two of them, but are there any products you really like or things that you use regularly?
So Juvo, also known as Nutox, is chemically the same makeup as Botox. That's kind of their selling point. I don't really see a difference. In all honesty, I think Nutox, most people are saying they feel it faster. You can feel it. But the results I feel like are exactly the same. So honestly, I like both. Some people say it wears off faster. Some people say Botox lasts longer. It all depends.
Right.
And at the end of the day, Botox is metabolized by the body. So depending on how fast your metabolism is, a 25-year-old and an 85-year-old, it's probably going to be a little different.
Right.
We also use Juvederm and Restylane products. They're hyaluronic acid fillers. Hyaluronic acid is a chemical that's naturally made in the body. So people ask me a lot, why do I have to come back and keep getting them? Well, it's metabolized by the body. So let's say you get a filler and you absolutely hate it. There is an enzyme called Hylenex that you can actually dissolve the filler. Well, you're going to dissolve a little bit of your own hyaluronic acid. So let's say you get your your lips dissolved, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, my lips are so small.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a few weeks for that hyaluronic acid to build back up. Let's see. I also do lasers. I do a lot of different lasers. I do tattoo removal. I do laser hair removal. I do laser facials. I do radio frequency microneedling. I mean, like, literally it's crazy because, like, I've been doing this, and, like, when people ask me what I do, I'm like, the list goes on. It, like, literally doesn't stop.
So fun.
That doesn't mean, like, I love learning. Like, if I could literally get a training on, like, something new every month, I would.
I feel like it's so interesting to me to, when people think about Botox and filler, I think their head goes to, like, I love this image, but I love her, but Dolly Parton, where it's like everyone thinks like Botox, big boobs, big lips.
Yep.
And the irony behind this to me is exactly bringing back to your point of this stuff wears off very quickly.
Yes.
Like, in my humble opinion, too quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if I could probably go in every 3 months on the dot.
Absolutely.
And go in because it just wears off.
Yeah. So I'll give like a quick rundown. Botox usually lasts about 3 to 4 months. And like I said, that depends on your metabolism. Fillers usually last about 6 to 9 months. Some can last up to 1 to 2 years, depending on what you're getting them for, because there are certain fillers for certain parts of your face. Like, I'm not going to use the same filler on your cheek that I'm going to use in your lips, because I want more structure on your cheek and I want more plumping on your lips.
Interesting.
Let's say, I mean, I can even go down to lasers. Lasers for laser hair removal, we call it in the office permanent hair reduction. It's not removal, because you're only removing about 90% of the hair.
I like that.
You have hormones that change as you get older. Like, your hair grows in phases. Sometimes you might miss a phase of hair growth, you know? So we say permanent hair reduction.
That's something that I have done.
Yeah.
And I've done underarms, I've done bikini line, and I will tell you that it still does grow back. It's significantly less, but it's not permanent.
Exactly. So, like I said, honesty, I tell all my patients, yes, we say laser hair removal because it removes the hair, right? Yeah. But are we reducing it? Yeah, it's more of a reduction type thing.
So I want to get to one of the biggest barriers I think that most of us feel in this industry, and that is the cost of all of these things. What's the deal? Like, why is it so expensive?
I'd like to say that most places are just like hiking up the prices, but it costs so much for the office to even buy a syringe of filler, to even buy 1 unit of Botox. I mean, I think I even told you, I was like, this is how much it costs in the office for us to buy it. This is why we have to hike the price.
Sticker shock.
And I don't think people realize that includes, paying your staff. So, like, that price includes paying your staff, post-care, all of those things. I mean, we even account down to, like, a cost of 1 gauze in that amount, Yeah. But what I will say is the smartest thing is to start early, because yes, when I have my 70 and 80-year-old patients coming in and they want to fix their whole face, we're talking $5,000-$6,000 in one visit. If I could do everything I wanted, you know, I could probably even hike it up to $10,000,
smokes.
And let's say we're going to start off with my 25-year-old who is just starting off with baby Botox. It's preventative,
right?
You're not going to be paying that much money, $10,000 by the time you're 60, because we've been preventing all of this.
Right. I started my first experience with Botox, honestly, was right before our wedding, 2017. So I was roughly like 28. It's funny because, I just wanted to
no lines on your forehead.
Well, and that's the thing is I wanted to look perfect on my wedding day and fresh. Mm-hmm. And the results for me were like astounding. I feel like it would definitely, it's funny because I get quite a few comments on, how my makeup looks and things like that. And really at the end of the day, obviously it is partly skincare,
right? But
it's also, I do feel like I'm plumped up a little bit. And I think that helps a lot with the, and that's, I want to be very transparent about that because yes, I do consume and I do have, some Botox filler, and that's just, I like it. I think it is preventative. And I think it's just looks good on my face. That's just something. And I do think part of that is sourcing the right person.
Absolutely.
AKA you.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, the price is unfortunate, but I will say, if you start off early, if you prevent there are like two things that I say you cannot go wrong with: Botox skincare products, medical grade skincare products. Please don't go to Target and get just like a basic.
It's scary. Or
like, please don't.
If the price is too low.
The price is too low, it's probably not right.
Right.
If it's on Groupon, probably not right for an injectable.
Do you have, this is for all of the nurses that are listening out there. Do you have any advice to any of these nurses who are coming into this industry who want to break into it? Or do you have any suggestions of a way to kind of find their path?
Yeah. I feel like there's a few. So one, I will say, if you do not have an eye, if you don't have like an artistic side to you, aesthetics might not be for you. And I hate to say that because it's fun and most women want to do this, and it's a different side of nursing that not many people know about.
It's sort of art meets science, I really think.
It absolutely is. And, one thing that you really have to take into consideration is this is someone's face. And not alone is it someone's face, this is your license, right? Yeah. So you have to make sure that is kind of who you are. You know what I mean? And I'm like, Tori knows I'm a pretty artistic person. I enjoy, looking at somebody and deciding what we can do to enhance, not necessarily change, but just make look better. And I think that takes a certain eye.
Yeah. It's very subtle.
Yeah, natural. I go for natural. And, if you look at my work, I would hope some people, they like the big lips.
I think my before and after is on your Instagram page. What's your Instagram handle again?
Ariel Auston _RN.
So she did did you do my cheeks? You did my cheeks too.
I love your cheeks.
It's amazing.
But we need to come back.
I need you again. I'm coming in again. It's so subtle, and that's how it should be. It should be very subtle.
Exactly.
These changes.
We're not making Dolly Partons over here.
No, unless you want to be Dolly Parton.
Because then honestly, that's really fun for me. But
I really do love
her.
My goal. So that's something else I wanted to touch on too is, which I think is why I really wanted to bring you on. Yeah. I really love the idea of just simply enhancing and keeping up my beauty the way I want to see it.
Exactly.
And I think because it is a newer industry in the sense of this industry is coming out with all these new products and all of these things that can help you prevent, the whole thing. Yeah.
I think
the look of it, at least.
Everyone's goal is to age gracefully. And I do kind of hate that, like our parents' generation, they didn't have all of these new products. There's even threads that are like a non-invasive facelift. Like they're so cool, guys. I cannot wait to start learning about threads because they're so cool and they produce collagen and elastin and they help, those areas that are starting to sag, just really replenish and look refreshed. And I don't think it's really anyone's goal. Obviously it's some people's goal to look fake, but I think everyone's goal is to look natural, and picking the right injector is really where, that deciding factor happens.
Right. I personally feel like it's been a little bit of a trial and error. I've been to several people. I really do enjoy going to you, but I do think that that's a big part of it. Are there any influential people in your life, mother, father, family, influencer, that you look to?
So obviously my parents are like my biggest supporters. My mom even comes from Georgia to get only her treatments done by me. It's pretty funny. When she's like the worst patient ever though. She like totally like squirms. I'm like, Mom, come on, it's not that painful, So it's funny. So obviously my parents, there's also, I follow a lot of injectors online, some that I have met in person. So that's really cool, meeting them like at events and getting to talk with them. But there's one nurse, I've been following her for about a year and a half, maybe a little bit longer, and her Instagram is @the beauty nurse. She just opened up her own med spa in Spokane, and it's called Crafted Beauty. I don't know Melissa at all by any means, but I just like, she's fully goals. If you guys went on her Instagram and looked at her med spa, it's incredible. She's also a master injector. She's a trainer. She's flown all over the country to train people. So that's really I find a lot of my inspiration through pretty much the master injectors on Instagram. I just find them to be I mean, they are like what I want to be.
Right.
Like, you know, they're like my
It's like
aspiration.
your goal.
I'm like, wow.
Life goals.
Life goals.
Was there anything that you wish you had known when you began your nursing career? Like, is there anything that you feel like, gosh, I wish I had known that?
wish I had a me.
Yes.
I wish that I had somebody that was open about this. I even find that I have a lot of nurses that come to me, you know, asking like, oh, I reached out to this aesthetic nurse or cosmetic nurse, injector, whatever. And they never got back to me. You know, I actually never went through that because I was too nervous. I'm like, they're not going to respond to me anyway.
Yeah.
So I find it pretty incredible how many people have reached out to me. And I hope that I come off as very authentic to people where they feel like they can, you know, ask about this. That's why I host, you know, so many Q&As on my Instagram, because I didn't have any of these answers. You know, I went into the same, I think when I got my job, I asked my boss, so what certifications do I need? And she's like, you don't need any. Like,
Right.
you know, there's none. You train under me and that's it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
This doesn't even sound right? You know, some states obviously do require different, like laser licenses. California doesn't. So obviously I don't know every like state and requirements, but yeah, I just wish I had somebody kind of to guide me through it, because really, if you're looking on Instagram, all you're going to find are people just doing their work. They're not teaching. They're not, well, there is education, but there's not anyone that's helping you figure out, oh, this is how I did it.
How to do it.
You know, and that was really frustrating to me. And I just want to be a resource to people because it's a fun industry. A lot of people don't know about it. It's kind of on the dark side. No one talks about how they got into it. No one talks about, you know, who they know. And it's because it is a money industry. It's where the money comes from. It's very competitive.
It's a very different side of the medical world or the healthcare world, I think.
Yes. But I mean, I totally believe in collaboration over competition. You know, like let's make each other better. I'll show you what I know. You know, you show me what you know.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like it's funny because I feel the same way you do, where I almost wish that I had someone in my shoes that I could have asked, like, what's this like?
Yeah.
And so I hope today this is sort of an answer for a lot of you here, because I feel like, one, I'm fascinated by the beauty industry. First of all, I'm obsessed. I personally will watch all of these makeup YouTubers just for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I'm a consumer of all these YouTube, and I'm very fascinated by the aesthetic world. I think it's really interesting. There's so many new skills coming, new products, new skills.
Gosh, so many.
I don't know why, but I'm really drawn to it. And I think it's very cool that you were in this industry and loving it. And how are you liking working in LA?
Working in LA is honestly, it's a blessing. Can I say my goal? Like
What's your 5-year goal?
Life,
let's go there.
So, I hope to eventually open up. I'm in NP school right now. I'm actually just getting my primary care because my only reason I want to become a nurse practitioner is to do aesthetics. It's really like my love. It's my passion. Like I said, if I could learn about this all day, I would. I watch videos.
She really does.
It's like totally my craft. It's my thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm in NP school to get this done. And my goal is to eventually go back to Atlanta to open my own office. Kind of like the beauty nurse. So if you watch her like little journey, she's been in aesthetics for almost 13 years. And it's crazy because, you know, I was telling Tori today, like, you have to give yourself grace. Like, I'm still so new in this industry. I know a lot just based off of my mentor, but it's progress, and it's, you know, getting that clientele and just really trying to figure out your niche.
Yeah.
You know?
I actually want to touch on this a little bit, going back to your degree. So what was the reasoning for you to decide to go back for your FNP? So you're going back for your FNP, correct?
Just adult primary care.
Got it. Okay.
I have zero desire to work in the hospital as a nurse practitioner. I have zero desire to really work in, you know, like a family office setting. I just want to do aesthetics. So truly my goal was to go back and to be able, like I said, to go back to Atlanta, open my own office. The NP provider realm is changing. It's different for all states. Like California is unfortunately the most strict. In order for, I'm getting kind of on the business side of this, but in order for an NP or really anyone to own a med spa, a MD has to own 51% on paper. Not to say they get 51% monetary means, but 51% on paper. So I'm hoping, I'm praying that, I'm giving myself this, 5-year goal, right? Your 5-year, your 10-year goal, whatever. Giving myself this period and hopefully, hoping that it changes and, I can open my own office and I can be the sole, owner of my practice. But that's really my main goal. So, eventually if it doesn't change, I'll have to collab with an MD, but
Well, and I think something else that I think you probably know more than I do. I've heard a lot of rumors about injectors. They're requiring potentially in the future all injectors to be either PAs or NPs.
Yes, I have heard a little bit about
it's rumored.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the truth because there are a lot of established, incredible nurse injectors. You know?
There are.
So it would
sometimes
be
you'd
really
rather go to them.
You really would, honestly, I'd rather go to a nurse injector than a surgeon, like a plastic surgeon.
I have another good friend who actually she works at another facility and I loved her. She's amazing, and I think that's just the thing is she's a nurse. She's not an NP.
Not to say, I don't know if people know this, but you can be a PA and do this. You can be an NP and do this, a doctor,
right.
Pretty much a nurse up. And a lot of things now that are coming about, going back to, kind of finding inspiration and how I learn. And, a lot of it I learn off of Instagram. And it's very unfortunate because there are a lot of people that are not certified or even nurses or even licensed to do injectables. And so a lot of people that I've looked up to, watched a lot of their videos to learn some new techniques, have taken them down because people have started to inject people illegally. So that goes back to so many things like education, asking about license, just make sure you go to the right person because horrible things can happen, guys. It's fun, it's beauty, but you just have to be safe.
Yeah, just be careful about who you're going to.
Absolutely.
Do your research.
Be
your own guru.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to do it.
Yep.
And I think that goes for a lot of things, not just injector. I mean, I also think, for
just
all
going
the
to your regular
doctor OBs,
yes.
I'm a big in the NICU world, especially being a NICU nurse. I think women, something that I really want to relay to them is do your research on your OB. That's probably one of the most important doctors you'll ever have in your lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, it's you and your baby.
Yep. And you be your own guru. I think that's probably a big thing.
That's a huge thing that I would say, just be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much for going on. Can you give your shout out? Where can people find you?
Yeah. So my Instagram, I pretty much am only on Instagram. It's Ari, ARIE, Austin, AUSTON _RN. I also work for Incredible Vein, Skin and Body. They're located in Encino on Ventura Boulevard, and their Instagram is at Incredible Skin. So a lot of my work is on my Instagram. I mean, it's, like I said, very authentic to who I am. So it's a lot of lifestyle, a lot of lips, because lips have kind of become my thing.
It's your portfolio.
It is. Yeah, it kind of is. So if you ever
It's a very fabulous portfolio.
Thank you.
Let me tell you.
So if you're ever in the LA area,
she's right off the 101, guys.
Yeah.
You got to go see her.
I love now, getting patients or clients, whatever you want to call them, who come in, they're like, I saw you on Instagram. I'm like, oh my gosh, you did. You saw my work. There's so many incredible injectors. And so it's cool that I'm finally getting people to notice my work.
I feel like that's been such in our world, especially because I think we recently connected.
Yeah.
It's such a fun world.
It is.
I think it's such a newer world for the healthcare space.
Yeah.
Versus, beauty bloggers and all these mom bloggers, they've been doing it forever.
They've been doing it. Yeah, this is new.
This is new for us.
Yeah, it's very new.
I would say, there's a handful of those really big players in the medical world that have really significant big accounts, but it's starting. I think there's a big influx now, but it's been really fun because we get to connect and
connect over fun
share
things.
Stories.
Yeah. It's been awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Ari, for coming in today. This was absolutely wonderful.
You're so welcome. This was fun.
We hope that everyone here found some good value to this.
Yes.
We're really, really happy to bring this to you because I feel like this is an industry that, we don't know a lot about.
No. And if you ever have any questions, I mean, I'm busy, but I do answer my DMs. So feel free. I do have a Q&A on my highlights on my Instagram. So feel free to watch that. And then if there are any other questions you have, honestly, please reach out to me. It may take a few days for me to get back to you, but I do always get back to everyone. So.
Oh, fabulous. Well, thanks, Ari.
You're
Kisses.
welcome.
Thank you so much, Ari, for coming in today. It was such a treat to get you behind the mic. And we have something really special for all the Selfie Podcast listeners. Ari and her team at Incredible Skin have offered to give all of you 20% off of all of your services during the month of July. That does exclude laser hair removal, but you guys, 20% off of your services. So the best way to take advantage of this is head over to Ari's Instagram at ARIE Austin, AUSTON_RN, and check out her bio full of all of the information you're going to need. And finally, a huge thank you to you guys, the Selfie Podcast listeners. This would be nothing without you, and I'm so thankful for all the DMs, the messages, the rates, and the reviews. You guys, I just want to say thank you again every week. It just keeps getting more and more fun, and I absolutely love it. In order to continue to support the show, please head over to rate and review the show. I love it when you guys get specific. I love hearing what part of an episode you loved, what was your favorite episode, or even potential guests that you guys want to bring on. I hear you, I see you. And in addition to that, we have started with the small selfie swag. So when you guys do leave a review, leave your Insta handle and we will be sending over some super cute stickers and a selfie badge reel featuring Selena, our selfie icon, and we are in the works of possibly doing some swag. So you guys, if you have a request or something that you think would be really fun to do, in my head, I love sticking with the medical puns and just something kind of fun and cheeky. I would love to hear from you. So if you leave a comment on our Instagram or in our reviews, let us know what you like as far as swag, shirts, sweatshirts, you want a mug. I'll continue with the badge reel. The badge reels have been really popular. So I feel like that's definitely something that we would maybe expand on. And be sure you're following us on our Insta at CELLFIE_podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. You can find all of our episodes on www.tipsfromtori.com and make sure to check out those show notes below. Tons of information about our guests and our sponsors. And thank you so much for listening, you guys. Catch you next time.